Hello there my friends, hope you all are having a fantastic day right now. In this video, we shall be looking at how we can deal with dates and times in Python. So let's get started. So we shall be using the datetime module in Python which comes installed with it. And it is a module which is written in Python. So we can understand how it works and the stuff that's present in it from the module itself. And this Python file can be found in the lib folder of your directory where Python is installed. So if you go to lib right here and search for datetime, then you would find this, which is the file that I've got opened over here. So this is the datetime module, and it has a lot of classes and stuff. And we can make use of these classes to work with date and time values. So first, we shall be looking at the datetime class of this module. So let's just search that here. So here we have got our datetime class, and let's see what this class has. So this class has a new method which works something like the init method. And I know I have not talked about this in my OOP tutorials, but I'll probably talk about this in a future video or something. But it works something like the init function. So let's keep that in mind. And this, as usual, takes a number of arguments. And these arguments are used in the different member functions of this datetime class. And you can understand how these functions work by looking at this code, but let me explain some important ones in this tutorial. So, yep. So first we have to import this module. So import datetime, which is the name of the module. And now first let us look at a function called now, which is used to give the current date and time. So you should find it here. So we have this class called now, and it returns the current date and time. So let's implement it. So let me have a variable called now. We'll call the now function of the datetime class. So all you've got to do is datetime.now, and yep, that's it. It doesn't take any arguments, so we can leave it at that. And now let's print now. So let's run this. So it gives the current date and the current time. So that's how it works. And there is a similar function in the datetime class which is called today, and it pretty much does the same thing as now. So let's check that out too. So today, and change the variable name. Yep. So we've got this, and okay, so now we have the current date and the time. So that's how these two functions work. And there are a lot of things that you can do with this datetime class, and I'll be showing you only a few of the things today. So let's move on and look at the next thing. And another very useful thing that you can do with the datetime module is that you can create date and time variables of your own, and that can be useful in making date and time calculations. So let's see how we can do that. So first, let me have a variable called date, and this variable will store the value returned by the date function of the datetime module. So datetime.date, and this function takes three arguments, which are the year, month, and the day. So the year will be 2020, and the month will be 8, and the day will be 28, which is today's date. And that's what date is going to store. And let's print it to the screen so that we can see what the variable has. And run this. So you can see today's date, 2028 and 28. And similarly, you can create a time variable. And let's call this time. And this is going to store the value written by the time function. And time also takes the hours, minutes, and seconds. 5 hours, 25 minutes, and 12 seconds, something like that. And let's print it out. So as you can see, the time has been printed to the screen in the format of hours, minutes, and seconds. So now that we know how to create dates and times, we can look at how we can format the date according to our requirements, because you see in different countries, dates are written in different ways, and you need to be able to deal with these differences. So it's important to know. And the datetime module has a formatting function which helps us to format the date and time according to our requirements. So let's try using that. So let me get rid of this and have a date variable. So datetime dot date 2028 and 28. And let's say in your country you write the date first followed by the month and then the year. So in order to do that, we have a function in the datetime module called strftime. So let's just use that function, and it takes a string as an argument. So what are we going to include in this string? So this string takes the format specifiers, which are going to specify which parameter we want at which place. For example, if you want the date first, you would write %d, and after this we would have the forward slash or the dash or anything that you would want. I prefer the forward slash, so I'll include this. And after the date we want the month, so just write %m, and this %m indicates that we want the month, and this is called a format specifier. And again a slash, and we would have the year, so y. And we've got to store this in a separate variable because this function returns a value which has to be stored in a variable. So let us reuse the variable date itself so we don't have any confusions. And let's print this out now. Print date. So let's see how it looks. Yep. So as you can see, we have formatted the date according to our requirements and we've got it. And if you don't want this to be only 20, you can change this to capital Y, which gives the full form of the year. So like this, 2020 instead of just 20. And you could play around with these values, and you could first have the month and then the day, if that's how your country writes dates, and that would be done. So that's how it works. You can even use this to format your time values. Let's create a time variable. So the hours are 5, the minutes 10 minutes, and 45 seconds. And time equals time dot format time. And we have to again specify these format specifiers. So for hours, it's capital H. So first, let's say we want hours, then the colon, which is used widely, and then we would have the minutes, and then the seconds. And if you even want the microseconds, you could just include percentage of that will give the microseconds. So yep, let's print this 5, 10, 45 and 0, because 0 is the default value for microseconds. As you can see, we have got the time in the required format. And let's change a few values and see how it looks. Yep, just like that. So we have the minutes, hours, seconds, and then the microseconds. So that is how you can format dates and times using the strftime function. And now let me talk about a class called the timedelta class, which is used to calculate the differences between times. So let me get rid of these things, and yep. So let's have two variables, time1 and time2. So these two are not variables, but they are instances of the timedelta class, which is in the datetime module. So we need to access the timedelta class to the datetime module and pass in seconds as an argument. So first we'll pass in 44 as the seconds, and in time2 we'll pass in 55 as the seconds. So now we have both our time1 and time2 objects, and we can find the difference between these two times. To do that, all we have to do is time2 minus time1, and minus is the difference operator or subtraction or whatever. And we need to also store this in a variable so that we can access it, and we'll print it as usual. So let's run this and check it out. So as you can see, we have 0 hours, 0 minutes and 11 seconds, and that's what the difference between 44 and 55 is. So that's how we can calculate difference between two times. And You can do the same thing with dates as well. And that's it for this video. I know I did not cover a lot of things in the datetime module, but I didn't want to make the video to be too long. And moreover, since you guys know how classes and methods work, you can just read the code and understand how they work. So that's not a really difficult task. And yep, that's it. Bye for now, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.